class. It's a really good class that after they become a Christian, it's what's next. What am I supposed to be doing? And so we help them with devotions, and they learn the important time that they can read their Bible and pray. And we teach Bible verses, and they've just been a great class. I have just been blessed at this church to be able to teach the new Christian class. And I just wanted y'all to celebrate with us and recognize them today for what they've accomplished and what God is going to do in their lives in the future. So I'm going to recognize them by giving them, I got it, a devotional. And this is a children's devotional book by Billy Graham. So I'm very proud of y'all, and I love teaching y'all. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, first we have Willow Portier. Good job. Sophie Willis. Harley Wiggins. Camden Cole. Jackson Cavanaugh. Good job. We also had Grayson Null, and we're going to recognize Miss Lydia next week because she wasn't able to come today. But we just want to say thank you I just wanted to say thanks for allowing me to do this ministry. I'm very blessed with being able to teach all these children. Y'all have wonderful children and grandchildren.
We are blessed by you, Miss Belva, that's for sure. Miss Belva does this class 2 times a year, and each time it's packed out with kids that have put their faith and trust in Jesus and want to walk in some discipleship. So that's really, really cool. We are grateful for all that God did when he sent her our way. It's been amazing. All right, yes, give it up for Miss Belva. And while you're giving it up, how about you give it up for Brother Trotter and the U, because these amazing things are taking place there. Keep that ministry in your prayers. There were 76 young people there this past Monday night, and so it's just really there. It was a little late, but it came. I knew the scream was coming. So it's amazing what's going down there, and we tell you this for 2 reasons. One, invite all the young people that you know. Tell them about this. Let them know about this ministry on Monday nights. It's for college age. They don't have to be in college. It's just that age group. Invite them. Tell them about it. Tell them to bring their friends. It starts at 6:30 on Monday nights, and then we're also bringing it up because we want you to pray for them. Young people need our prayers, and so we want to ask you to be praying for them, praying for this ministry, praying for Brother Trotter as he leads the U. We are excited about all that's taken place there. Now, on the flip side of this, for those of you that are a little older, like 55 and older, prime time's coming up Tuesday. So we'd love for you to join us for prime time. That's going to be on Tuesday in the Student Center at noon. It's potluck. They do pizza. Us older people, we do potluck. So anyway, y'all come hang out with us on Tuesday at noon in the Student Center for prime time. We have a community announcement. The Luke family, they are about to begin their IVF treatment journey, and so their family members are putting on a benefit for them to help them raise money for this. It will go down on November the 9th at Max from 10 to 12, so if you're able to support that, please do. Our Georgia Barnett offering is going to be taken up on November the 16th, so we just want to give you a heads up about that. Georgia Barnett, November the 16th. Also on November the 16th, that is the Sunday that the Operation Christmas Child boxes are due in. So if you picked one up, make sure you fill it and get it back to us by November the 16th. If you haven't grabbed one, they're in the foyer on the counter back there. Make sure you get one. Instructions are inside, tell you all the things to do with that. The last announcement I have for you is Shepherd's Pie is going to have a Boston butt and ham sale that is going to benefit a local child with leukemia. So if you would like to purchase a Boston butt or a ham, you can let myself or Miss Kim Middleton know, and we can take care of that for you. The orders are due in on the 14th, and then you will pick them up on November the 26th, which is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving from 11 to 1. That was all really fast, but hopefully you got it. But that's not what you came here for, so y'all stand to your feet and let's worship this morning.
Miracles when you move, it's such an easy thing for you to do. And your hand is moving right now. You are still showing up at the tomb of every Lazarus, and your voice is calling me out. And right now, well, I know you're able, and my God will come through again. You can do all things, and you can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, yes, I know that you never will. Everything's possible by the power of the Holy Ghost. A new wind is blowing right now, breaking my heart of stone, taking over like it's Jericho. And my walls are all crashing down. And right now, well, I know you're able, and my God will come through again. You can do all things. You can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, yes, I know that you never will. You can do all things. You can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, yes, I know that you never will. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never will. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never will. Oh, you never lost a battle. Oh, you never lost a battle. Oh, you never lost a battle. Oh, you never, and I know you can do all, you can do all things. You can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, yes, I know that you never will. You can do all things, and you can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, yes, I know that you never will. Said I know, yes, I know that you never will. And I know, said I know that you never will. Well, I've been turned around, but I've never been lost. I've seen the water get in trouble, but we walked across. And when my knees were shaking, You held my hand. You're turning my problems into a promised land. Sing it out, church. Lead on, good shepherd, I'll follow all my days. There ain't nothing sweeter than to watch you make a way. You walk me through the valley, but you never steered me wrong. So lead on, good shepherd, lead on.
See some mighty deep canyons that you brought me through. See some mighty big mountains that you served and milk. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yeah, that's my song. Walking with my Father into the great unknown.
Lead on, good shepherd, I'll follow all my days. But there ain't nothing sweeter than to watch you make a way. You walk me through the valley, but you never steered me wrong. So lead on, good shepherd, lead on. Well, step by step and day by day, lead me on, Lord, I pray. The road gets dark and walk by faith. Lead on, good shepherd. Step by step and day by day, lead me on, Lord, I pray. The road gets dark and walk by faith. Lead on, good shepherd. Lead on, good shepherd. I'll follow all my days. But there ain't nothing sweeter than to watch you make a way. You walk me through the valley, but you never steered me wrong. Lead on, good shepherd, lead on. Step by step and day by day, lead me on, Lord, I pray. The road gets dark and walk by faith. Lead on, good shepherd. Step by step and day by day, lead me on, Lord, I pray. The road gets dark and walk by faith. Lead on, good shepherd. 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 Lead on. I'll never be more loved than I am right now. I wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I could do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now.
Going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to call me out. You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown. You've never been closer than you are right now.
Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough. Forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough. And I don't wanna forget how I feel right now on the mountaintop. I can see so clear what it's all about. So stay by my side when the sun goes down. Don't wanna forget how I feel right now. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough. Forever enough, always enough. You're more than enough.
I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I can imagine.
And that is enough. I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I could imagine. And that is enough. That is enough. And that is enough. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Last line. Jireh, you are enough.
And all that I am and all that I have is beautifully made by your hand. And there are no questions and there is no doubt that you look at me and feel proud. You're not embarrassed, you're not ashamed. You stand in wonder of what you've made, and I am loved by you. I am loved by you. I am loved to stand and wonder of what you've made, and I am loved by you. I am loved by you. I am loved by you. I am loved by you.
This morning we're in Jonah chapter 3. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah the second time, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and call out against it the message that I tell you. So Jonah arose and went to Nineveh according to the word of the Lord. Now Nineveh was an exceedingly great city, 3 days' journey in breadth. Let's pray. God, thank you so much for a Sunday morning to be in your house singing praises to your great name with fellow believers. God, thank you for being in this place with us. God, this morning we pray that through our time of worship that we've prepared our hearts to receive your word, and God, that you would anoint Brother Austin as he brings that message to your people. In Jesus' holy name, all God's people said, amen.
Amen.
You can be seated.
Amen. My bad. Did I send you the wrong chapter? Did I tell you chapter 3?
Yes.
My bad. Okay, we're in chapter 1. Sorry about that. You can pull that text back up. We'll read it before we get started. We are in chapter 1, verse 1 of Jonah. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and call out against it, for their evil has come up before me. But Jonah rose to flee from Tarshish, from the presence of the Lord. He went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare and went down into it to go with them to Tarshish, away from the presence of the Lord. We're in chapter 1 of the book of Jonah. So this week, I have to tell y'all, I had a rough week. I had a sinus infection, and I know what y'all are saying. Y'all are saying sinus infection is not that bad. Well, you are not as dramatic as I am. Because I tell you what, whenever I get a sinus infection, I might as well have the Black Plague. Like, stay away from me. Don't come close to me. Don't breathe on me. Don't get too close to me, because I am in a bad mood. Whenever I'm sick, I'm not a great person to be around. I'm not going to lie. But whenever I'm sick, I'm not going to do anything until I feel better. So this week I got to spend a lot of time on my couch with two things, my TV and my computer, which means that there were only two things that I could really do. Number one, because I'm responsible and I love you guys so very much, I spent a lot of time studying this scripture, preparing the word for today's message, preparing what I'm going to bring to you today. But there is more. But because you came to listen to a 22-year-old preach, which basically means I look like an adult, I have a beard, but I'm still a child on the inside. So as I was studying the word, you're going to have to deal with the number two not number two, because that would be a Dookie reference, but I'm too mature for that. You're going to have to deal with the thing that I do while I study. And the thing that I do while I study is I watch movies. So I had Disney Plus on, and I was watching The Little Mermaid. Not because I wanted to, I promise. Look, I'm a grown man. I was watching the Avengers movies, and it came on in the recommended. Now I'm just lying to y'all. I was watching The Little Mermaid because I was deep in my study, and it was absolutely essential that I watch this movie so that I could understand what I'm trying to give y'all today, because that movie is where I got my title for today's message. Today we are going under the sea. And I know some of y'all know the song, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I know. I haven't stopped singing it yet. But today we are going under the sea. I want to preach to you to that. Now look, if you're wondering what the sea is, calm down. I'll tell you later. You'll see. You'll see what the sea is later, but I cannot ruin it yet. You see, I want to let you guys in on a little secret of mine, and me and Trotter were talking about it this week. Whenever we study the text, we kind of run across this problem, and I think all that my preachers would understand this, because look, for y'all, whenever y'all are reading the text, you go into it and you read it saying, what can it give to me? But for preachers, we tend to look at it and say, okay, well, what can it give to other people? Not what can it give to us, but what can it bring that I can give to you? And it causes this kind of tough tension because we go back and forth because it's not good for us to not feed ourselves. We need to feed ourselves so that we can then feed the flock. We have to be very careful when we're doing this. And I know that it's a hard thing to understand, but look, it is just like a great chef. A great chef, he prepares meals, he does all of this, but if he spends all of his time preparing meals for others and he forgets to feed himself, then the chef will starve. Now, look, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. If you wanna know that you have a good chef, look at his belly. Boy, I tell you what, I like my chef a little bit on the chunky side, just a little overweight. He ain't gotta be huge, but I gotta know that this guy knows how to eat. This guy knows how to eat, so he's gonna know how to cook. But what I really want you to see is that I cannot trust a chef who is starving to death. The same way that you can't trust a preacher who will not feed himself. So this week I was really, really intentional in making sure that this sermon did not only preach to you, but that it preached to me as well. Because I like my chefs a little overweight. I don't want my trainer overweight. Where's Sebastian at? Is Sebastian here? Sebastian would be my trainer because I want my trainer to be ripped, and that guy is Clark Kent for real life. If y'all see him, y'all let him know that he looks like the real life Superman. But this is the tension that comes from the book of Jonah. Because here in the book of Jonah, we are looking at a man who is a prophet of God. He is doing everything that God has called him to do, and his only job was to hear from God and then relay that message to God's people. That was his job. And I would recommend that you look into this book because this man who is yelling and telling everybody, obey, 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 then had disobedience in his own heart. He had disobedience in his own heart. Now this is something that we have to deal with as church-going people because look, I grew up in church, and one problem that we tend to have growing up in church is that we tend to typecast disobedience. Now I want you to just imagine somebody being disobedient. All right, picture that in your head. Where are they at? I'll tell you where they're not at. They are not at church this morning, I promise you that. They in the club, they acting wild, they snorting lines of cocaine, they taking shots, and worst of all, us Southern Baptists would tell them the worst thing they doing in that club is they dancing. That is ridiculous. These disobedient people, what are they doing? But what I need you to understand today and what I've learned from the book of Jonah is that disobedience looks different for different people. Look, just because we are here in the church, just because you lead a small group, just because you're in a small group, just because I'm up here preaching, does not mean that we are safe from disobedience. Because if anybody would have been safe from it, it would have been Jonah, yet he still found himself being disobedient. You see, disobedience looks different for different people. And I know that I'm not going to get any amens on that, and that's fine. I just need you to hear it, because here is a prophet of God that has disobedience in his heart. Because we are looking at Jonah, we are not looking at the prodigal son. We are not looking at the one that ran off to Vegas, spent all his money, turned all the way up. We are not looking at that. We are looking at the prophet Jonah, who I have deemed the prodigal prophet. That is who we are looking at today, the prodigal prophet. You see, in the Old Testament, it was really, really simple. When the people of God were not listening, he would send them a prophet to tell them, this is what God has said. This is the word of the Lord. You need to straighten up. You need to get your act together, and this is what you need to do. But what does God send whenever the prophet is disobedient? Well, the first thing that he sends is he sends a wind. He sends a wind out into the sea. The second thing that he sends is a whale or a big fish. Look, I'm going to be straight up with y'all. I don't know which one I'm going to say the most in this sermon because, look, it's a big fish, it's a whale. Look, I don't know. All that I know is the text calls it a big fish. Lots of people call it a whale because whales are big fish. So here we are looking at this, and that is what God would send to this prophet. He sends him a whale, he sends him the wind, and he sends him a storm. Now look, I want to warn some of y'all because I hear it a lot. I hear it so much, the people that say, man, God has got a big, massive call on my life. God is going to do great things through me. And boy, you better be ready because I'm on the come up. You better get on this wagon now because I'm going all the way up. Let me tell you, be careful saying that there is a big call, because with a big call, where there is a big call, it takes a big answer. It takes a big answer whenever there is a big call. So be careful bragging on a big call, because if it's a big call, there will be a big fish if you are disobedient. There will be a big fish waiting for you. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but whenever I get a call, not from the Lord, just like literal calls, if I don't recognize the number, I ain't answering, because I don't know you. And look, if you've tried to call me and I didn't answer, look, now you know. Sorry, I didn't have your name saved. Just shoot me a text. I promise I will get back with you. But I tell you what, if that thing pops up and it says one of those unknown callers or that spam risk, straight blocked. I am blocking that call immediately. And isn't it crazy that just like that, it is that easy to just block a call? That's exactly what Jonah did, because he didn't want to do what God had told him to do. He simply just blocked the call. It was very clear God was telling him, go to Nineveh now. And all he did was simply block the call. And I just want to tell you, please don't block the call. And because he blocked this huge call, he got a huge storm. And then a huge fish or a whale, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the point is that by blocking the call, he brought himself into that storm. And sometimes we tend to confuse that. We tend to think that storms only come from the devil. Storms are always never our fault. It's always somebody else's fault. But a storm can be your fault. You can bring yourself into a rough, dark place. Now, I want to do a quick survey. How many of y'all grew up in church? Oh, yeah. Man, y'all raise y'all's hands all kind of spiritual. Y'all look like y'all been going to church for a long time. Tell you what. Look, it's funny. Look, I've been raised in church and I've heard this story so many times. And if you've been in church, and especially if you're old in church, which there's none of y'all there. Y'all aren't old. Well, he's old. He's real old. We fixed to start kicking him out. He's too old for this service. But if you have been going to church, and especially if you've got them little like degrees by your name, you know, how they give you them special little letters, and that all of a sudden just makes you way smarter than everybody else. You know, you got one of those. Yeah. You know, there's got to be something in you that goes like, for real? Is this story real? Like, look, I get it. This is the story that we tell to the kids next door, and we give them the little goldfish, and we say, hey, look, here's the goldfish. Jonah was disobedient. You better obey, because if you don't, I don't know, God still might be talking to whales. I don't really know how he's moving today, but if you are disobedient, then a big whale is going to come eat you up in the middle of Pineville, Louisiana. It's probably going to swim up the Red River, and it's going to find you if you are disobedient. Now, look, we've heard that, but it becomes very easy for us to take this story and throw it in the Santa Claus category, in the Easter Bunny category, in the Tooth Fairy. It's very, very easy for us to send it there and just say, well, it may have happened, maybe not, but it's very, very easy to do. And maybe some of you don't even believe in God, so now you're listening to this guy who's up here, and he's just talking about this big whale and this fish and this Jonah guy that apparently lived like 3,000 years ago, and you're hearing me and you're just like, actually it would be unrealistic to believe that a whale could actually swallow a person. You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to believe that some guy fell out of a boat, then was eaten by a big fish, and then lived to tell the story on the other side? Come on now, for real? Because look, Austin, let's just be honest. There's only one kind of fish that's big enough in this sea, and it's a whale. And there's only two types of whales. The ones that eat plankton, that have an esophagus that is about 3 inches around. And then there's the one that have the big teeth, the meat-eating whales that would completely destroy you before they swallowed you. But let's just say, for the argument's sake, then yeah, Jonah made it into the stomach of the whale, and now we are in the stomach of the whale. Well, then he would have been completely destroyed by the stomach acid of the whale. Well, Austin, that's not even possible. And I'm here to tell you, you're right. It's not possible. There's no way that this story could happen. But isn't that what makes it a miracle? If it were possible, there would be no miracle. It takes impossible for there to be a miracle. And I believe that God still does miracles. I believe God is still parting Red Seas. I believe God is still opening blind eyes. He is still opening deaf ears. I believe that God is still doing these types of miracles because that's who he is. Throughout the entire Bible, everywhere that we look, this is the kind of stuff that God is doing. Now, some of y'all are thinking, you know, that's just all Bible stories, but look at you. You mean to tell me that you can make it in here on a Sunday morning and bring them kids, get them kids up here? That's a miracle. You telling me after this huge busy life, all the things that we could be doing right now, yet you're here. That's a miracle. That is literally a miracle, because why would someone waste their time coming and learning about this thing if it's not real? This is a real thing. This really happened, and he really still does it. That is the beauty of what we believe as a church. Without the miracle stuff, I'm not interested in any of it. If it's not real, I don't want it. But all of this is very, very real. Let me just give you a quick theology lesson. This is something that I've learned in my 2 semesters at New Orleans Seminary. Thank you. Shout out New Orleans Seminary. Thank you so much for this. There are 3 ways that people believe. Number 1 is atheism, where they believe that God doesn't exist. He's just not there. Number 2 is deism. It means that a God existed and created everything around us, but he does not have anything to do with our day-to-day lives. He has no direct involvement with his creation. And number 3 is theism, that God exists, he created, and he is still actively involved in the universe, meaning that miracles can still happen. Now that's where I stand. You can stand wherever you want, but that is where I am. Miracles still happen. So yes, I believe that a whole man just like this was swallowed by a big fish and was in the belly of the whale. And even if I didn't believe in miracles, then I have to deal with Matthew 12:40. The Pharisees, they come to Jesus and they're like, hey, we need a sign. You're saying you're the Messiah. Give us a sign or get out, basically. And he says, I'm not giving you a sign. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a huge fish, so the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So look, either this happened or Jesus is a liar. Because you see how he called it a sign? He says the sign of Jonah. That means this is not something that we are just going to take and see it as like a non-literal thing. This was a literal thing that happened because Jesus said so. He said, the same way that I will die and I will go 3 days into the heart of the earth is the same thing that Jonah did. Now look, if he's just using it as a way of speaking, then you lost me. But this is real. This is real stuff that happened. Now look, I don't know if whales go to heaven, but if they do, I want to meet this whale. I want to meet the whale in the story of Jonah. I feel like he's got a lot to say. He's got a lot of stories for us to hear. I'd love to hear it from his point of view. Because this whale was powerful and he saved Jonah's life. You want to know why this whale came for Jonah? Because he was under the sea. Not the S-E-A. He was not, well, he was. He was under the sea, but he was also under the sea. Can you give me that next text? Yeah, Jonah 1:17. It says, then God, whenever I stop, that's cue for y'all to read the word. Then God what? Assigned a huge fish to swallow Jonah. You see, the whale understood the assignment. He understood his assignment. See, I used to think that God would just randomly drop assignments and just whoever wanted to pick it up could come and get it. But that's not how God works. God is specific in his assignment. The assignment is specific. Now look, let me tell you what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is that God is waiting on you to pick up the assignment that he has given you. Your daddy's not going to do it. Your mama's not going to do it. Your brother ain't going to do it. Your cousin is not going to do it for you. You need to pick up the assignment. Whatever responsibilities you have, you need to pick them up. That kid that you got, ain't nobody else going to be the parent to that kid. You need to pick up the assignment. Now you want me to prove it in the text? Bring me chapter 1, verse 1. Now the word of the Lord came to the son of, yeah, I kind of figured y'all wouldn't get that one. The son of Amittai. See, y'all was real confident. Y'all was, yeah, Jonah. And Amittai is the way that I pronounce it, because sometimes you just got to fake it. Hey, just fake it. Look, if you act like you know what you're talking about, nobody's going to argue with you. It's Amittai, whatever you want to do. It don't matter. But the word came, and it said, go to Nineveh, that great city, and call out against it. Call out against what Nineveh is doing. Go and call them out. The entire book of Jonah starts with Jonah being under the sea. Because, and I know y'all are wondering, what the heck is the sea? What is this sea you have been talking about this whole time? Jonah was under the call. He was under the call. And you see how whenever you're under the call, you're protected from the storm. If you'll just listen, maybe the storm would have never happened, Jonah, if you would have just stayed under the call. But he said, nah, I'm going to run from it. I'm going to get away from it. Let me go back to my movie. I feel like Sebastian right now. Because, look, this is what Jonah was doing. Jonah was basically just saying, oh, I got to get out of here. I got to go. I can't stay under this sea. I need to go out into the sea. And it's just, ain't it just like how Ariel was today? I feel like Sebastian talking to some Ariels today who always think that life is so much better. Up where they run, up where they walk. Yeah, see, y'all thought I didn't watch the movie. I watched it 3 times. I got this stuff memorized. I'll sing all the songs up here. But I'm just telling you that there is no better peace. There is no place where you will feel more whole than whenever you are under the sea. When you are under the sea. You see, the sea is the call that God has placed on your life. And I want to know today, are you under the sea? Are you under the call, or are you like Jonah, running out from under the sea? He just wants to run and do whatever he wants. He wants to get away from it. He wants to get out from underneath the sea. And then he is all of a sudden surprised when the storm comes, whenever he comes out from under the sea. You see, this is a crazy thing. I like that. You see? This is a crazy thing about another group of seas who act like there's no free will. That God just controls every little thing we do. Now, I don't know about you, but being under the sea means that you are in the will. Now, why would God say, hey, Jonah, this is what I want you to do, and then he go do something else? But Jonah had free will. He could do whatever he wanted to do. You see, that's the thing about us as humans, is we are the only ones that can go out from underneath the sea. Everything else that God called listened. He called the whale. Bloop, 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 bloop. There's a well. He called the wind. There's the wind. He called Jonah. Go to Nineveh. Oh, no, I got better things to do today. I'm not going to Nineveh. I'm going the other way. I'm getting out of here. You see, we're the only ones that tend to think that life is so much better out from under the sea. Now, here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about this word, call. You see, sometimes it has been misused, and in the church, sometimes it gets what's the word? A little jacked up. I'm just gonna be honest. Y'all don't mind me using that word, do y'all? It gets a little jacked up. You see, there becomes a problem whenever I hear people and they're like, look, I mean, God told me I had to break up with this person, therefore I had to leave him. But God also told me that I had to go to the relationship. So did God tell you to go to the relationship and then leave the relationship, or did God never say anything at all and now you just saying whatever you want on God's name? Or you know, I love this one. God is just calling me to that other job. You making more money, ain't you? And that's okay. That's okay. I ain't hating on you for making more money. I'm just saying, when did we start mixing our personal agenda with the call of God? You got to be careful whenever you say you have a call of God. Oh yeah, you might be called to that other job, and you very well could be called to leave that relationship. You might be right, but let me tell you, be careful, because I hear it so much. I hear people come tell me, oh, God is calling me to this relationship. He is perfect. There is nobody better than him. And then 3 months later, they leave him. It's like, well, was that God talking to you, or was that your self-conscious? That's another C, by the way. We need to live under the call, not our self-conscious, because you need to be careful whenever you start speaking on behalf of God. Because if you say God is calling you to it, you better be sure that that is not your self-conscious speaking to you. But let's not go too far into that. Let's just go to the original call. The original call is to be in intimacy and relationship with God. That was the original call from the very beginning. You go all the way back to Genesis, and that was the original call. So look, I don't want to overcomplicate this, so let me just break it down to you. Biblically, though. Biblically break it down to you. Listen, if you are single, here is your call. Flee from sexual temptation. That's what the word says. Let's not overcomplicate it. Let's just look at the word. Flee. Run from it. Get away from it. If you are married, your call is to have lots of sex. That was a joke. You can laugh. You can laugh. It was a joke. This is your call. If you are a wife, you have a call on your life to submit to your own husband, just as you do the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, just as Christ is the head of the church. But don't cherry pick that one. Don't just leave it, fellas. Husbands, your call is to love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Let me tell you what that means. That means she gets everything she wants before you get anything. Everything that you want, it can wait. It's going to go on the back burner. She's going to get it first. Now, for everybody, this is the simplest of them all. The call from the beginning is just to be in relationship with God and to trust him and to trust his word. That is what it's about in Genesis. Whenever he created Adam and Eve, they were in perfect intimacy and relationship. It was perfect. And then he dropped a tree in the middle of it, and he said, don't touch the tree. He gave them a call. Do not touch the tree. Now, me, I wouldn't have just left it at that. I'd have given them like a 5-minute highlight video of like COVID and then like all this other stuff that's happened and said, this is where we going if you touch the tree. But God didn't do that because he wants a relationship that is built on trust. He wants you to just trust him. That's why God doesn't do that. He says that, look, I know you don't understand it now, but if you're under the sea, everything will be fine. I know you don't quite get it now, but as long as you are living under the sea, the storm will not hurt you. That's why there's no explanation. But Adam and Eve were the first ones to say, I want to be where the people are, and wanted to come out from under the sea. And because of them, now we have to deal with this corrupt world that we live in today. So, now that you think you have found yourself under the sea, I want to talk about a couple other seas because we have kind of blurred the lines of this in church just a little bit. See, I think some of us are under the sea, but it's not the sea of the call, it's the sea of comparison. Where we just look around at what everybody else is doing and we say, well, one, if I'm doing better than that person, then I'm good. Obviously, I'm living for God. I'm doing better than them. We are living under comparison. Or we are looking around and we are seeing what God has done in so many other people's lives, and now we say, well, God, you did it like that for them, so now you owe me that. And then whenever it doesn't happen, we're just like, what the heck, God? I was literally singing about you this morning about how you're a promise keeper, and He just got to say, I didn't make that promise to you. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Sometimes He might not part the Red Sea because He doesn't owe it to you. He can do it. I promise He can do it. But don't go comparing yourself to other people. Don't go comparing yourself to somebody else's story. Just stay under the sea. Now, is it the sea of the call or is it the sea of comparison? Now, the next one is the sea of clout. Y'all know what clout is? Or do I need to teach y'all some Gen Z slang? Clout's whenever you're popular, chasing popularity. Whenever you say, well, look, man, I must be doing something right because my followers are popping off. My following is growing like crazy right now on Instagram, so I must be doing something right. Even though, let me tell you, growing and swelling look exactly the same. One's good, one's bad. Are you under the sea of the call or are you under the sea of clout? And maybe it's not that, but maybe you're under the sea of the compensation package. God, if this goes good for me, I'm all in. God, if you got something for me, I'll do it as long as I get something on the back end. What are you going to give to me whenever I do for you? Is that where we're living right now? And what about this? Are you under the sea of convenience? When everything's easy, I'll do it for you, God. But if it gets tough, I'm going to have to go out from under the sea and get in the storm. Are you under the sea of the call or are you under the sea of compliments? Where as long as everybody is telling me I'm doing the right thing, then I know I'm doing the right thing. As long as I'm not stepping on other people's toes and bothering everybody, then I am doing the right thing. But sometimes being under the sea will lead to criticism and controversy. Sometimes you can cause problems whenever you are under the sea. Brother Steve's shaking his head yes real hard because I knew this one was going to get you. He's not under the sea of compliments. He's under the sea of call. Because let me tell you something. If you ain't got no haters, you probably ain't doing nothing. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you ain't got haters, you probably ain't doing much. Because look, just because somebody criticizes you does not make you not under the call. And let me tell you something. If you are doing those things and you got some haters and you're dealing with some criticism, let me leave you with this. Now, this is not mine. I stole this from another preacher. His name's Robert Madu. He's in Dallas, and he's awesome. I stole this from him straight up. He said, if you are dealing with criticisms, you need to have two things. You need to have a soft heart and thick skin. If you are under the sea, you better have a soft heart and thick skin. So, just because you're under the sea does not mean there will be no criticism. Because so many people are under the sea of compliments, but as soon as you have one mean comment, you wonder if what you're doing is right. But that is not what it's like to be under the sea. So which sea are you under? See, Jonah was trying everything he could do to get out from under the sea. Jonah went so far running from the sea. You see, whenever I put it on a map, and I was going to put it up here for y'all, but I felt like it was unnecessary. It was 500 miles to go to Nineveh. It was 2,500 to go to Tarshish. And whenever he got on the boat, he had to pay a fee. And the Bible told us all this almost as if it is to tell us that disobedience will always cost you something. And disobedience is not always the easier road. Sometimes it's tougher living under the sea. Disobedience will always cost you. You will always pay the price, and ships leave for Tarshish every single day. It's not hard to run from God. If you're going to try to do it, I promise the enemy is going to give you a boat to leave on. He's going to give you a way out. But here he is on the ship running from the place God has called him to. And I want to ask you very plainly today, are you on the run? Are you running from something that God, you know it's what God wants you to do, but you run from it anyways? Look, I don't even want to deal with the stuff that's hard to understand because sometimes calls can be really, really difficult to understand. I just want to deal with the C of the commands, the things that he tells us in his word to do, or the things that he tells us not to do. Are you running from that? Are you on the run because you don't want to be under the sea? Jonah went so far trying to get from under the sea, and I'm just wondering, have you paid the price? Have you paid your fare? Have you gotten on the ship running away from God? And before you know it, here is Jonah in a storm. And hear me, this storm is his fault. He can't blame this storm on anybody else. This storm is his fault. You see, we talk about storms a lot in church. A whole lot. It is all over the Bible. See, storms can start for so many different reasons. See, sometimes storms just happen because of Adam and Eve stepping out from underneath the original call. They stepped out from under it, and now our world is diluted and run down with sin. And sometimes storms just happen because that's life. But then sometimes storms happen because you're doing everything right, and the enemy is trying to attack you. Look at Job. He did it to Job. Job was doing everything right, yet he was still met with a storm. And then some of you are like the sailors in this story. You see, the sailors didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I'm going to be gone next week, but whenever I get back, I think we're going to talk about these sailors some more. Because sometimes you're in a storm because you got Jonah on your boat. Sometimes the storm is not because of you, it's because of the people that are around you. And once you let them on the boat, there's liable to be a storm. And I know we ain't riding around on boats, but some of y'all got Jonah in your phone. Whenever it would be just as easy to throw him out the boat, get him out your phone, delete it, get it gone. Some of you are in a storm because you've got Jonah in your boat, but some of the storms are because of your disobedience. But I have good news for you, because the storm can stop, just like it did for Jonah. If you will come back under the sea, the storm will stop. If you will just turn around, the storm will be over. See, that's why I use the umbrella, because it protects us from the storm. See what I did there? Yeah, anyways. But this sea will protect you from the storm. But sometimes you have to be honest with yourselves and just say, I'm in this storm and it is all my fault. I brought myself here. I have been running from God. But it is time to get back under the sea and the storm will stop. So as we have this time of invitation, stop running from God and come back under the sea. The altar is wide open to anybody that needs it. If you need somebody to talk to, I'm right here. And maybe you've never realized the call that God has on everybody's life, and it's just simply to come back and be in relationship with Him. And if you want to do that today, we would love nothing more than to have you. I love you guys so much. Get your butts back under the sea. What are we going to play?
Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon.